My name is Rob Jerome, and I'm Vice President of Innovation and Technology at Dickinson & Associates, an SAP Gold Channel partner headquartered in Chicago. We're really excited about both today's webinar, but more importantly, the SAP HANA Edge Advanced version deployment, an offering from SAP. For those of us who have worked with HANA since its inception and release, we've dealt with this misnomer that HANA is for big companies, and some of that, frankly, has to do with pricing. Some of that has to do with the fact that customers have an impression that HANA really is only for big companies. So today, what we're really going to focus on is the HANA Edge Advanced version, which is a brand new offering from SAP that is targeted specifically for small and mid-sized businesses. So a few agenda items that we're going to cover today. What we want to talk about first, really, are the challenges for small and mid-sized enterprises. And then how can SAP HANA Edge address those challenges? We're going to give you an overview of the offering, tell you what's included in it and how it's structured. And then we're going to go through some scenarios that we call our imaginative scenarios. And really, we're going to focus on specifically how HANA Edge can add value to your business. We're going to go through basically an inventory of the art of the possible, focusing specifically today on a demo that includes custom application development on HANA, which is one of the capabilities offered in the HANA Edge Advanced version. And we're going to show a custom application, what we call a shipment tracker, that shows some of the capabilities that any organization, big, small, can build on HANA using the HANA development platform that's included in the offering. We're going to talk through a little bit how Dickinson & Associates can help customers and understanding business cases and making the case, if you will, for how SAP HANA Edge can apply to your business. And then we're going to open up for some questions and answers. Next slide, please. So I'm going to hand over now to Terry Bean from SAP, and she's going to walk through really the HANA Edge offering.
Great. Thanks, Rob, very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. So what I'd like to start with is really presenting an observation about what's happening with digital transformation in relation to business landscape, what digital disruption is doing with business, and how that affects our SME customers. So as you know, most of you are certainly aware and in the midst of digital disruption in your business landscapes. If you look at the typical longevity of business in the 1960s, the average age of companies that were on the S&P 500 was 60 years. Those were typical brick-and-mortar companies. Customers were fairly predictable. Innovation was slow to adopt. And business transformation took a very long time to achieve. And traditional business models remained fairly status quo or stagnant until roughly around the year 2000. Since then, if you look at the same landscape, what you'll find that 52% of the names that were on the Fortune 500 list are just gone. And that by the year 2020, the average age of those companies is only going to be 12 years old, which is nearly a 5 times compression ratio. What we're also finding is that the digital disruption is really the small and mid-sized enterprises. Peer-to-peer networks like Uber, Airbnb, and others are the companies that are really giving large enterprises a run for the money. And these same disruptors are really creating risk in both the SME and the large enterprise environment. What it means for an SME company when you look at what's happened with digital disruption and the speed with which and the way with which business is being conducted today, it means there's 2 things that can happen for a small enterprise. It can either be a significant risk, and they can be disrupted by other companies that are moving faster, more efficiently, are able to change their business model according to the way their customers are buying. Or it creates an opportunity for them to take advantage of all of this disruption and really be, if you will, the disruptor in this business case. Next slide, please. So what does that mean? What does it mean for a business that needs to be agile? There are many analytical demands on modern organizations, and doing simple what happened analytics is not enough. Is not enough information. It's not enough to be able to leverage the demands that are growing in your business, and it doesn't provide you with really the ability to be as nimble and support the demands of your customers. Given that your customers are creating all of this demand and they need more, you need to provide more information around marketing and better customer service, and business performance functions need to improve, and financial reporting and business initiatives need to be optimized, and you need to be able to compete more effectively today. And so that means that your landscapes, the information landscapes that you're leveraging as a smaller company, be it not only your ERP environments, but the environments, the data landscapes that your business analysts have for doing reporting, and the external information that you're looking at to be able to understand what is the sentiment of your customers, all needs to be simplified. It needs to be easier to access, and you need to be able to expand and accommodate all of the different options that are now available to you as a business so that you can make better business decisions, so that your stakeholders have better information, and so that your customers are satisfied. In short, this agility is critical for today's age of digital disruption, and certainly because of business being in a data-driven culture. Can you move to the next slide, please? So how do you win in this new digital market? What does that really mean? Well, customers need to be able to automate and simplify their data landscapes. From the data that they're leveraging to how relevant that data is to your business needs, how do you use that data, what level of detail do you need, how do you secure the data, how do you collect the data. You also need to be able to analyze that data, and you need a platform that provides an easy, faster, and accurate process for being able to do that, and to give that access to your business analysts and decision makers so that they can do their jobs more effectively, more rapidly, and with more flexibility. And you need to be able to leverage all of the types of data and do standard analytic reporting or more advanced analytics with data warehouse or data mart type scenarios, meaning that you need to be able to leverage and analyze data both from your ERP organization, but also outside data that may reside in non-SAP systems. Lastly, you need to be able to compete. Like large enterprises, small and mid-sized businesses need the ability to move beyond that traditional analytics and into more advanced or predictive capabilities. And these are the things that help you win in the market and help you become the digital disruptors. Go to the next slide. So how does SAP HANA Edge help? So first, let me tell you what SAP HANA Edge is. It is a bundle that we've provided that includes SAP HANA and supports all of the data mart, data warehouse, predictive types of use cases that a business or a company would need in order to be able to be a digital transformation organization. We use it in multiple ways. It's designed as a full-use HANA scenario and therefore delivers the full capabilities of SAP HANA, but for an SME customer, so it's sized and priced accordingly. It is the data and analytics platform for SMEs and supports scenarios that would include predictive analytics use cases like better sales and marketing, forecasting, improved anticipation of demand, essentially can bring overall predictive capabilities with the inherent predictive libraries and integration that is in the platform. It also provides the ability to consume any data, whether that's SAP or non-SAP. So as part of the bundle, we've included the capabilities to bring in all of the data that you need into the environment, again, from any source, and allow you to leverage that data in an in-memory platform and create your data mart or line of business or data warehouse type scenarios that would typically be for line of business or departmental requirements. And then, of course, it also empowers you with the ability to develop your own in-house custom enterprise-grade analytics or enterprise analytic application. What this can help you do by leveraging this platform, particularly because it gives you all of the things that you need in a single package, it can help you gain competitive advantage by providing a landscape that allows you to manage simply and easily. It gives you real-time access, gives your analysts and your stakeholders real-time access to their information. It can help you increase your market share and grow your business because now you have better visibility to what's happening both inside and outside your organization. And it really can be the innovation platform to help you transform your business. So this release of HANA Edge Edition Advanced version can be coupled together with also with a new solution brought out called Business Objects Predictive Analytics to leverage the predictive functionality inside the package, and that enhances your ability to leverage this package even more. But if you're using other analytic tools, you can also use those with this package, and so hopefully that will give you all of the flexibility that you need to really create a transformative, simple landscape that allows you to grow and expand. Rob?
Thanks, Terry. So what I'm going to do now is really start focusing on what we'll call our imaginative scenarios. And for folks that are listening in, I'd really like you to start thinking about how can you apply this technology to your business. This slide has various buzzwords on it that most of us are used to by now: big data, predictive, Internet of Things, analytics on demand, social sentiment, mobile, and custom applications. What's very important to understand these are buzzwords that we typically hear about SAP HANA from a broader perspective. But what's very important is to understand also is that in the HANA Edge offering, all of these are included. So when Terry talks about large enterprise and small and mid-sized enterprises, the same capabilities and the same requirements, frankly, are there. So all of these capabilities are included in the HANA Edge platform. And it's really more of a platform discussion as opposed to, the in-memory database. So what we're going to focus on today really is the imaginative scenario focused specifically on custom applications. And the reason we chose that is because, frankly, it's overlooked in some cases, in many cases, where the HANA platform, including HANA Edge, has the ability to build custom mobile applications. Anything that you want, and we find that agility or that required agility in small and medium-sized business. If you're not changing, if you're not growing, you're dying. And thus the capabilities are there within this platform that you need a custom app that maybe doesn't exist. It's specific to your business. You can build it on the platform. But you can also take data for analytics from multiple sources. Maybe it's social sentiment. Maybe it's Twitter. Maybe it's Facebook. Maybe it's SAP. You could bring that into the HANA platform, and you can report on it. You can analyze it. You can predict on it. So as we start going through these scenarios, I would encourage everybody to start thinking about, hey, what's a potential business case in our environment that may be applied to this? Or maybe there's several. Next slide, please. So when we describe SAP HANA Edge, the term that comes to mind is analytics and applications for everyone. And I really want to drive this point home. HANA Edge is large enterprise capability for the small and medium enterprise. So when we say it's right size, that means you can get up to 128 gigabytes of compressed data and 512 gigabytes of dynamic storage, meaning hot and cold data. People are familiar with those terms. But it's also right priced, meaning it's significantly cheaper, if you will, than a HANA Enterprise solution. And it's integrated, meaning with non-SAP data, meaning it has capabilities to grab non-SAP data. It has capabilities to grab SAP data. It has a predictive component. And it also, again, has that application development component that we're going to focus on today, including a mobile edge. So our theme really here is that SME customers have a choice. This digital economy is disruptive, and you can either be disrupted by it or you can be the disruptor. And given some of the statistics that Terry focused on earlier and how companies are surviving, companies need to be, especially SME companies, need to be innovating. And this platform allows you to do that. So again, Dickinson and SAP have really partnered to bring these capabilities to the SME market. I'm going to show you a little of that today. Okay, so now we're going to get into our system demonstration scenario. So again, imagine if you're a company and you could have real-time insight into your shipping operations. What does that mean? It could be SAP data, non-SAP data. It could be telematics data for perhaps that allows you to track real-time where a truck is. So imagine if you had real-time insight to shipping operations. You can integrate your fleet data. Maybe that's cell phone data. Maybe it's telematics data with SAP shipping information for a complete view of your supply chain. What if you could represent this real-time on a geospatial map integrated directly with Google Maps via API? And what if you could build this application yourself on the SAP HANA platform and an inventory of applications similar to it? Maybe it's not shipping. Maybe it's pricing analysis. Maybe it's customer orders. Maybe it's a customer sentiment dashboard. So today we're going to focus on a use case where we're going to demonstrate an application built on SAP HANA Edge. But I would, again, encourage everybody to think of, beyond this, what could you do in your organization? Next slide, please. Now, Tim Corva, our Director of Business Intelligence Services, is going to give an overview of the demo and walk you through it.
Thanks, Rob and Terry. During this presentation, we want to show you how we could take a device-agnostic application and integrate it with the multiple APIs, or also known as plugins, that you may currently be using within your organization or corporation. As we are all well aware, small and mid-sized businesses, we don't always have that luxury of investing heavily in the creation of new APIs that just work with the newly introduced software that we're implementing, or multiple versions of the same application to support the different devices such as iPads, PCs, cell phones. We want to do the exact opposite and leverage that in-house development investment that we have grown and stabilized over the years. So as Rob and Terry were speaking about, imagine if we could simplify our overall hardware footprint without losing any of those discussed capabilities. During this presentation, again, we will be showing a basic application that not only consumes the HANA Edge data within the database, but also presents it. And this is all happening within the same platform. This allows us to now analyze this data in real time and allows us to proactively make decisions on that data versus being reactive to customers or our business data. So during this exercise, our dummy fictitious company that we will be acting as provides professional sporting equipment to college and professional sports stadiums across the continental U.S. And our business, it operates mostly using ground delivery, leveraging other small and mid-sized trucking companies and truck drivers such as Dylan. Hi, Dylan. And we've partnered with these trucking companies that provide the location tracking via mobile cell phone technology. And by doing this, it's providing us that added capability to collect the information, as Rob spoke about earlier, from the truck driver and tracking their location throughout the shipment. With all of this data that we've collected, this information is then delivered to the consumer via a nice geospatial map. Obviously, everything we're speaking about and showing is the art of the possible. But we would like to show you how you could apply this technology and harness that disruption. So after I log on to the SAP HANA website, and again, the word website is very important here because it's just like any other website that you would log on to, a Yahoo, a Google, This is just another website that all your end users have access to. We will start at a landing page. And this landing page is going to have the look and feel as a Fiori would. Now, the concept of Fiori harnesses the same native application development framework, which the benefit is it provides that consistent look and feel from application to application or website to website. And that's important because we many times we have websites that look different due to the developer, and we're accommodating many of that with that built-in HTML5 or UI5 that's provided with this overall HANA Edge platform. We can have one or many applications that are available to the end users, and this will be defined by the type of user or possibly the job responsibility of that user. And the best part about each of these applications that you see here, each tile is a separate application, is these are reusable components. And what that means is we develop it once, and we can assign those applications to one or many users as we see the need for it. As discussed earlier, we have the need to support multiple devices. So I'm minimizing my screen here to mimic the different device sizes that you may have, possibly iPads or a cell phone. And you're seeing how the screen is responding to that type of device. In this case, I'm representing a large iPhone, and I have the arrow here that allows me to scroll through each of my applications without losing the benefit of that overall landing page. There may be times that this isn't required, or there may be times that you want to develop a more specific application for the device that's being used. Dickinson Associates can help support those business decisions and the strategic work to decide what type of application is required for your organization. So on the screen, you can see many different applications. On the upper left here, we have an employee directory application. This is representative of input screens. So this allows the end users to interact with the SAP HANA Edge database by entering data and storing it directly into the HANA Edge database, as well as presenting that information. Or we may have applications such as the sales reports that are more visualizations within that application. So we're presenting the data to the end user in a specific fashion. Really, we want to harness and understand our data visually. And we also have other thin applications that allow us to just consume the data and present it to the end user in a specific way. We're going to be focusing on the last application, which is Shipment Tracker. So when I click on the Shipment Tracker, it's going to open up a screen. And as we spoke about earlier, I would like to reuse some APIs or plugins that have already been introduced to our corporation or organization. In this instance, I have Google Map API on the bottom portion, and I'm also using and leveraging a email API, which allows me to send emails directly to the customers. On the top portion of the screen is showing visually the data directly from our SAP HANA Edge database and all of the shipments that are currently delayed. By clicking on any of these rows, I will alter the Google Maps representation visually to show exactly where that ground delivery that we spoke about is. Now, going back to our initial discussion with our truck driver, Dylan, we know that he has a delivery going to Giant Stadium, specifically to supply professional sporting equipment for the New York Jets. So let's find his delivery because we want to see exactly where he is and to determine if we need to proactively make decisions on his delivery. We see his delivery is late, so by clicking it, we need to determine exactly where in real time his location is. And we see that he's only about 50% of the way to his location, and he's located in Virginia. So, again, to be proactive and make that decision, I'm going to reach out to the driver first to discuss with him why his delivery is late. And then second, I would like to send an email out to the customer. So this application, again, allows us to have a send email button where it currently is represented by an icon of an arrow pointing out. By clicking this, you will see that the icon immediately changes to a mail or a letter. This represents that we have now sent a communication to that customer, and it allows us to not over-communicate with that delayed delivery. Now let's see what an email will look like. This email is very generic. Let me zoom in here. But it's an email that's sent out to the customer, and it's just stating, just wanted to let you know your estimated delivery date is this date. We apologize for the delay, and we would like to offer you 15% off your next purchase with promo code We Love Our Customers, Team DNA. Now, again, this is just representing the art of the possible, again, of what we can do and what an email may look like. But you may determine that you want a more personal approach in each of your emails, and those can also be integrated into this application. But really, the sky's the limit of what you can do. So, just as a summary, what we have seen is that we have, in real time, tracked all of our shipments that are currently delayed. We have proactively made decisions on those late shipments, so we could satisfy the customer in a better way while harnessing that digital disruption concept that Terry and Rob have spoken about. So with that stated, I would like to turn it back over to Rob to complete the presentation.
Custom application that integrates with SAP and non-SAP data, that's the transactional data, right? The delivery information. Also integrates with a device from the truck. Where is it located? Also integrates with the company's email system. And finally, also integrates with the Google Maps API. So when you think about, again, the art of the possible, when you think about a shipment application like the one that we just showed, it's important to understand how broad the capability is. And that's really, I'll say, a more advanced solution. If you want to use SAP HANA Edge to build analytical models, absolutely can do that all day long. But what's really important is that you can get to that, what we'll call the analytics maturity model, up the path of analytics maturity, and get to where you're really building out these advanced capabilities. And you can do that. And sometimes people look at this and they say, well, that looks very complicated. It doesn't necessarily need to be, and I think that's an important point. So some summary and key takeaways from today. Digital disruption is the new normal. So innovation and disruption are competitive advantages, and they have to be, and they're going to remain to be. Again, smaller organizations, you're changing, you're growing, you have to be innovative. And SAP HANA Edge is a platform for that innovation. So, again, you can use it for data acquisition, data processing, custom applications, Internet of Things type approach. Again, application and analytics for anyone, and data integration and data management, all on a single platform. So the opportunity, really, is understanding the art of the possible and going back to our theme of imagine if. Imagine if in your organization you had some of these capabilities. How would it change how you're doing business? How would that allow you to potentially increase market share, innovate and transform your business, or, frankly, add a predictable model? What type of predicting customer behavior? and analyzing social sentiment. So all of these things are really what we wanted to impress today. And again, these are things that traditionally corporations and SAP users have really thought about with large businesses, and they don't have to be. And that's the value in this new offering, is that SAP HANA Edge Advanced version is specifically targeted at small and medium enterprise. So what's next? How do you get started? How do you engage on this? Well, I'd like to talk about that a little bit and really how Dickinson and Associates working with SAP can help you. We have standard demo content that we are going to publish specifically to really kind of what Tim outlined and some other use cases. So those will be available online at our YouTube site. But if you are interested in the offering and you want to learn more, we would love to spend some time with you, conduct a one-day discovery session. And what really happens in those workshops is that we'll say, hey, let's go through some use cases. You've gone through your own separate imagine-if effort internally, and now let us come in and help you say, okay, here's how we think we can map the technology and the capabilities available in the technology to your business cases, and let's figure out which ones make sense and which ones balancing time to value, really how long will it take to deliver, and value to the organization. Let's prioritize those and figure out which ones may be a good use for your organization. Beyond that, we have the capability to do a demo if you'd like. We'll say, hey, we'll use some of your data and we'll put it into a HANA Edge system. And perhaps you can do some analysis, and we can show you really, we always call it making it real. What does this look like? What would it mean to your business with some of your data to at least get an understanding of, okay, now it's real to me. I see my data and I, things start to click and you can move forward. So we're here to help. And we realize that this is a new offering. We're, again, very, very excited about it. But through these three offerings that we really have, we want to partner with organizations to really get the most value out of the offering, and also to map to the right use case. Okay. A little bit, now that we're really towards the tail end of our presentation today, I did want to spend a little bit of time talking about who's Dickinson and Associates. We are an SAP Gold Channel partner. I mentioned that when we started the presentation, but all we do is SAP, and that's all we've done in our 18-year history. And today we're focused really on what we call database, data management, and analytics. But from a corporate perspective, we really focus on most aspects of SAP, whether that be traditional core ERP or S4 HANA, the new SAP ERP, business intelligence and analytics, platform and technology. To us, that really is the database offerings that we're speaking about today. SAP Fiori and the user experience, cloud solutions, whether it be Business Objects Cloud, whether it be Cloud for Customer, whether it be S4 HANA Cloud, which is a new offering, and finally, project program management professionals. We are project management experts, and we can help you from a strategic perspective. Our organization specializes in starting with a customer from a strategic perspective, planning your project, being your partner, implementing your project, supporting you after your software solution is implemented, and really we look for customers for life. That's our approach. And finally, just a little bit of corporate overview. So what is our focus? We focus on delivery of quality solutions, again, whether it be an ERP solution, an analytics solution, or HANA platform-based solution. We're about 140 full-time SAP professional organization. Our tagline is business people who know SAP. And the story behind our tagline is a great one. Our CEO, Don Dickinson, tells it the best, but frankly, a customer came up with that tagline for us in the beginning of the company, because most of our people come from industry and have made the transition from industry into consulting because we know what's best for customers, because we've been there and we've been doing this for 18 years, and in some cases more than that. We're headquartered in Chicago. Downtown Chicago. We have satellite offices in New York, Scottsdale, and Cincinnati. And we're a global organization. We've done deployments in the U.S., in Europe, in Asia, and we're very, very proud of that. So this last slide just outlines our contact information. If anybody would like to reach out to me personally or Spencer Brown, please do.